Tim Legler with us to take stock of a couple conference leaders whose first halves completed on Wednesday night with a tremendous game we saw in Philly, talking obviously about the Sixers and the Jazz. Let's start with the Sixers. And Tim, how was this game in many ways a microcosm of the evolution of what Embiid is becoming as a player?
Yeah, I think tonight was a perfect example of, number one, the condition that he's got himself in. To have the stamina to play for 48 minutes the way he's been playing all year, he just hasn't been able to do that earlier in his career. And as a result, they have this unique player that's a combination of raw power, athletic ability, and then an immense amount of skill. And you saw it all on display in this one. And this is all from the last 6 minutes of regulation. 7-1, 275 with the beautiful pump fake up and under. I love this one, Scott, more than any other. Two efforts. First, makes Mitchell miss the finger roll and then recovers with one step to get Gobert at the rim. And this is really what Embiid is at his best. He's just on the unstoppable force in the low post in a one-on-one situation. Another opportunity here. He shows hard on the ball screen, but then recovers all the way to break up that lob, and that's something the Jazz just kill people with every single night. And this is just ridiculous. He looks up at the clock, sees 10 seconds, starts thinking to himself, we might not have time to make this a two-possession game, so I'm just going to go ahead, dribble out here, up fake, stay on balance. Bogdanovich plays it beautifully, and he just holds his follow-through and bangs out a 25-footer to send the game to overtime. I thought the 50-point game against Toronto a week and a half ago was his signature moment to thrust himself to the head of the MVP conversation. But that was nothing compared to this game. I mean, he did everything humanly possible on both ends of the floor that a guy needs to say, I'm the MVP of this league. And I don't think it's close right now, Scott, based on the fact that the Sixers are #1 in the East. And I can't imagine what this team would look like without what Joel Embiid has become.
Yeah, I think that he is fully realizing what everybody hoped he might eventually become, right? Be healthy enough, fit enough, and we certainly know skilled enough to put it all on display. And it was there tonight in this one. The Jazz lose, but we've seen a really nice snapshot of who they are. But that's through Christmas, through the bulk of the winter. And Tim, as you look to the second half in the spring and then potentially the summer, what do you believe the Jazz ultimately will be?
I think we looked at two teams tonight that are conference finalists. I think ultimately they might run into somebody a little bit better, whether it's the Nets in the East for Philly or the Lakers if AD's healthy in the West. I think this team could beat the Clippers in a best-of-7. So I think they're a conference finalist as their ceiling, and maybe beat the Lakers if they're not fully healthy. And the reason, Scott, because they can attack you in a different way. The way they move it, the way they shoot it, the way they see the floor is special. This is something you're watching right now that's almost unprecedented in this league, the rate at which they are shooting threes. But then they can also beat you by shutting you down defensively. This is one of the top-rated defensive teams in the NBA. So to have that unique combination, that's what you have to do to attack a team like LA. It's got to be something different than the rest of the league brings to the table, and that's what they do. They shoot threes, and then they get you chasing it like they did on that possession, and they've got enough bigs between Favors and Gobert. They've got bigs that can hurt you in the middle once they get you extended. The fact, though, that they always make the extra pass, and it always seems to end up in the hands of a guy that can hurt you, makes them just different than what everybody else has. And with Philly, it's the same thing. Nobody can attack the Brooklyn Nets or any other team in the East the way Philly can because of the unique nature of Embiid's dominance. And that's why I think these two teams have something special going on. Philly's going to try to add a piece. If they can, hey, maybe they can take on the Nets and beat them in a 7-game series. But either way, I think both of these teams can get to the conference finals.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.